Van Dyke Show friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo, and today's episode is a guest star spotlight on Isabel Randolph. She played Rob Petrie's mother on the Dick Van Dyke Show, but she also played in a few other episodes, and we're going to learn more about her biography, learn more about the movies and TV shows that she appeared in, and so let's learn more about her. So she was born on December 4th, 1889 in Chicago, Illinois, and she passed away on January 11th, 1973. She began her career in regional theater all over the Midwest until the 1930s when she started working in the radio industry. Isabel gained national popularity in the radio industry on the Fibber, McGee, and Molly show. This ran from 1935 to 1959. She started out her career in the radio industry as various snooty roles, but then she had the long-running career as a pompous character named Mrs. Abigail Uppington. In the radio industry, Isabel also starred as the wife on the NBC soap opera Don Harding's Wife, and she was also in One Man's Family. Even when she was still young, Isabel specialized in playing middle-aged dame roles on stage and then on the radio, and this transferred over into the film industry as well, beginning in the 1940s. She recreated many of her radio characters, including Mrs. Uppington, into various spin-off films. And this includes Look Who's Laughing and Here We Go Again. She played small roles in major pictures, and she also starred in a variety of B movies. She was in My Favorite Blonde, Oh My Darling Clementine, Little Women, The Fuller Brush Girl, and You're Never Too Young, as well as many other movies. But Isabel would probably be best known as a TV guest star starting in the 1950s. She appeared in Dick Tracy as well as Meet Millie as the recurring character Mrs. Boone, as well as The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show, Our Miss Brooks as Mrs. Ruth Nestor, December Bride, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, as well as The Andy Griffith Show, and Perry Mason, and many more. Now we're going to look more into her guest star spots on the Dick Van Dyke Show. She appeared in 6 episodes of the show, but she started out as a completely different character than we really know her as Mrs. Petrie. She played in Father of the Week as Richie's school teacher, Mrs. Given. And so in this episode, Rob visits the class and then he's going to perform and educate these children about what it takes to be a comedy writer, what it takes to be a sitcom writer. And Isabel guest stars in this episode as Richie's school teacher, and it's a nice little guest star spot. The next episode is Saul and the Sponsor, and once again she's playing a different character, Martha Beaumont. She is this sponsor's wife, and so she comes over to join her husband in having dinner with the Petries, and it's pretty funny to think about that she's having dinner with the Petries and then a season later she's playing Rob's mom. The next episode is What's in a Middle Name, and this is the first episode where she is established as Mrs. Petrie. Now, Isabel isn't the first actress to play Clara Petrie. Originally, it was another actress named Carol Vasey in the episode Empress Carlotta's Necklace. She was the first Mrs. Petrie, but I guess she didn't want to continue with the show, and so they replaced her with Isabel Randolph. And when we think of Rob's mom, we associate the role with Isabel Randolph. But I just wanted to clear that up. So this episode, What's in a Middle Name, is basically a flashback episode showing us how Richie got his name. Of course, Richie is short for Richard, but the middle name was difficult to come up with, and his middle name was actually Rosebud, and it was a family affair coming up with this name everybody in the family had their own suggestions on what the middle name should be, and it's a pretty humorous episode. The next episode is The Plots Thicken, and this is another humorous episode where Rob's parents want him to eventually be buried in the same plot as them. They already have it picked out and it's decided, and Isabel is in this episode as Mrs. Petrie, and she does a fine job. The next episode, Pink Pills and Purple Parents, is probably my favorite of the episodes featuring Rob's parents. This episode is hilarious, and of course it features the wonderful Mary Tyler Moore. This episode is another flashback to when Rob and Laura first got married. They're newlyweds, and Laura is going to meet his parents for the very first time. Isabel Randolph guest stars as Rob's mom, and she is very particular and upset that she wasn't invited to the wedding. She's pretty upset that Rob got married to begin with, and she doesn't really know if Laura is the best woman to marry her son. And it's a really hilarious episode. She doesn't understand Laura, and of course Laura isn't herself because she took some pills to relieve the tension and anxiety, but it backfired on her. But this episode is just so hilarious. I love it.
Mom, Dad!
Oh.
Greetings, Sergeant Petrie!
Oh, my little baby boy is married.
Honey, I'd like you to meet my mother. Mother, I'd like you to meet my honey. My Mrs. Petrie. Meet Mrs. Petrie. You're both named Mrs. Petrie. Face it, Mom.
How do you do? Thank you.
My, this is a lovely place you have.
Would you like to see the bedroom?
No. Perhaps later.
This is Laura. We finally get to meet her. I just couldn't wait to meet you.
Well, of course, we thought we would meet you at the wedding, but none of the parents were invited, were they?
Don't start that.
I'm sorry. It's not the first wedding or the last wedding that I won't be invited to.
Well, we phoned you.
Yes, dear, I know. Phone calls are very nice, too.
It is.
And we have some nice potatoes and asparagus.
Oh, asparagus.
Asparagus?
Thank you very much.
Why, Robbie, you never ate asparagus at home.
Oh, but she does it different, Mom, with a sauce.
Oh.
Sure looks great. You ought to make it that way, Clara. Look here, how she shaved her bottoms.
I just put a little melted cheese on it.
Oh, well, that's all right, dear. I can scrape it off.
No, darling. I just, I felt a little dizzy there for a minute.
Dizzy? Laura, you're not...
Oh, well, no, Mom. Honey, you're not, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, she's not.
Not what?
Oh, Sam, grow up. Wine? Why, Robbie, you never drank wine at home. He never drank wine at home.
Well, neither did I, but this is sort of a special occasion.
We had so many special occasions at home, but he never drank wine.
Clara, grow up. Come on, let's all have a bell.
Does that girl seem funny to you?
You should be as funny as she is.
And the last episode is The Curse of the Petrie People. This is another great episode. Rob's mom, Clara, gives Laura this family heirloom, basically, where it is a pen that's the shape of the United States, and on this pen, there's little dots that indicates where all of the Petrie men are born, where they were born. And so it's quite unique, and I guess Laura is supposed to wear it everywhere. Laura doesn't really like the pen, but she can't hurt her mother-in-law's feelings. And so it's a really nice episode, and of course Isabel Randolph does another fine job guest starring in this role as Clara Petrie. Looking into her personal life a little bit, not much is really known about her personal life. All I know is that she had 2 daughters some point in her life, and she passed away on January 11th, 1973 in Burbank, California. She was 83 years old. And that's really it. That's all I have for you this week. Isabel Randolph was definitely a popular voice actor for the radio industry, but she also was a popular TV guest star. She often played snooty characters, and she really helped define that genre of characters, that type of character. She did a great job with that, and that's what we will remember her as. And so I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you learned or enjoyed best. I would be happy to read that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. And remember to always laugh often.